The new update just landed inside of Diablo Immortal this morning. What I'm going to do inside of this video is take a look at that. I also want to go on over and check out something that was said over in the forums, as well as some community questions. All of that inside of this video today. Also, guys, a little bit of a reminder to activate your blessings right over here. I'll show you in just a moment, but you have the ability to activate whether you want high quality equipment, a new essence, or alternative class equipment. I would say a time like now is a time for new essences because yes, the new essences have dropped inside of the game. If you're wondering where to find that, it's right over here next to my camera. You click on this icon and you could activate your blessings. Remember, you have 1 hour of activation per day. And as I mentioned, new essences are probably going to be the jam for you right now. If we come on over, you will notice that when you go to the essence transfer, few things have happened. First of all of your loyalty points have now made their way over to being legacy points, and there are new essences for every class, but at least one new for each gear slot for all classes. So guys, the hunt is on. Hopefully you guys can find those new essences to test them out really soon. And of course, if you're really hungry for them, you can use your legendary gear chests, or you can use your mystery legendary items if you want to. I would suggest against that until you're in the next Inferno difficulty, which is actually quite soon, so that you don't really waste any of those items to unlock just the essence and not actually get a piece of gear that you'll be able to wear long term. Of course, you could also go to the shop and you could gamble on some mystery weapons and mystery primary armor as well to try and unlock some new essences. Also, guys, remember the new familiar changes have dropped inside of the game now as well, giving you the ability to get better legendary skills essentially on it. It's something that I have not yet messed around with, but I probably will as time goes on. Yes, familiars did get a tad bit more complicated again. Now, I want to take a look at a message that came to me from Tactics yesterday. I'm going to briefly summarize what he's talking about here, and this is something that many people have mentioned in-game. It's a suggestion to better the game for people that struggle in one way or the other, and this way is about accessibility for those with visual impairments. Now, it's also worth noting, guys, that video games can't be created specifically for people that have some type of a disability, whether it be a visual or a physical one, right? The game needs to be made for the majority of players, and unfortunately, sometimes there are outliers, people that have visual impairments or people that have physical impairments. But it's really great when some changes are able to be implemented into the games to kind of help out those players as well. I will say, I do not believe, and I don't think that it needs to happen, that games are being created or developed initially with the thought, oh, I want this to be really great for people with a visual impairment or with a physical impairment. But those are modifications that can come to the game as time goes on. And here are some examples right here where this person would like to see some changes. For example, AoE damage indicators often have low contrast and can be nearly invisible to players with color and vision issues, so looking for a little bit of a different contrast. He says in tower PvP, hard to tell which team holds the tower. Color-based markers aren't always clear for colorblind people. In parts of the main story quest, some visually impaired players struggle to complete objectives because danger zones on the ground blend into the environment, and the minimap color scheme, light gray or dark gray, can always appear a single gray surface, making navigation difficult. So what he's suggesting here is that there's some different distinctive things so that players with visual colorblind, specifically impairments, can enjoy the game the way that everyone else does. The question is, what do you guys think? For the small percentage of players that have these types of issues, do you think a developer should spend the time and resources to fix or make a better experience for these players, or do you think it should go ignored? It's always nice when thought can go into it, but also I understand specifically with some smaller development teams, not that this is Blizzard, it's not possible. Going back inside of the game really quickly, there is a new event that dropped over here. If we take a look, it's Fractured Plane is returned back to the game. If you guys want to dive into that, you can get more quests completed for your Moonchild ceremony. But also we have the new Phantom Market, and I do have to say, I may be giving a deeper feature of this tomorrow, not 100% sure yet, but I have to say, just looking at the wizard right here, and yeah, I am a wizard now, I know. I think this thing is freaking awesome looking. Like, look at the secondary. The orb right here is literally his wife's head. That looks incredible. And if we take a look through some of these other ones, yep, Barbarian looks cool, always does. What do we have here? Demon Hunter looks great. I actually like the female version, freaking awesome. We have the Necromancer. Honestly, this is probably one of my favorite cosmetics we've had in a long time. This one just stands out as really good to me. We got the Druid right here looking so fresh. Another Demon Hunter, another Necro. What do we have here? Is this another Necro? That looks like a Crusader. I don't know. It looks really nice. They did a good job, but at the end of the day, I honestly think this wizard with the floating head is the best one. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with me on that. And if you remember from the patch notes that we went over in the previous update video, yesterday I went through all of the new essences, and the day before I went through the update in full, which featured all of the balance changes that came to a bunch of the classes. We're not going to go into depth about that right now, but it is worth noting that those balance changes have taken place. Now, Meteor Blade was over here on the forum and put together a nice post that I wanted to feature because I think it gives you guys some really good information regarding salvaging ancient legendary helmets. So let's go through this really quickly in case you're someone that is trying to do this and is looking to get the benefit out of it because Meteor Blade does a good job. If you attempt to salvage an ancient legendary helm, they will turn into ancient scraps. You can see right here, 30 of those scrap. You can also exchange ancient artifacts for ancient scraps in the blacksmithing materials NPC, as you can see right here. When you attempt to enchant an ancient helmet, basically trying to get the different enchantments on it, it costs you a bunch of these resources that you see right here. Instead of using instead of the usual materials, you can use 8 ancient scraps instead. So instead of the items that you need right here, you can use the scrap instead and use that to actually enchant the gear, saving the gold, the dust, and the legendary essence charms as well. You can use dust that's essentially just going to be wasted, and you can get that enchantment, which I think is actually huge. Meteor Blade, thanks again for another great forum post. Now let's do a feature or two from the community in the comments, and this one is from SJ March 13. This is a cool one. He says, honestly, I have to thank you. A few months back ago, you started a channel talking about how you started YouTube. I've been making content and helping other people learning the ropes. I don't make for myself, but it's a huge start. Thank you, Echo. You're the best. If you don't know what he's talking about, let me show you. It was a little side passion project. So if you guys know, I have an Etheria Restart channel. This was a sponsored channel, right? I got sponsored to make videos for Etheria Restart. That sponsorship, as of a few weeks ago, has ended. But previously, before that, the channel was actually a channel where I focused on just jumping in my car, going to the gym, and talking about things. As you can see, some of these videos are, well, they're all still here, but I privated them as I turned it into a sponsored channel. But now that it's not sponsored, I'm wondering I may start doing this again. I would essentially jump in the car, talk about whatever was going on in life at that point in time. Talked about losing my job, talked about all these different things, and it seems that some people actually took value in that. The channel never got big. It never did great. I never even did thumbnails. I did one thumbnail right there. But it never really put much effort except for me just kind of talking about stuff. And it was a lot of fun to do, and I'm glad that it was able to help out somebody. We'll see if I do this again. The channel right now is called Echo Etheria Restart, but it was called Echo Talk. We'll see what happens in the future. And more regarding the update, we have my guy named Gru saying, also a member of the channel for an extended period of time, over a year. Thank you so much for the support, brother. He says, my favorite change is the end of spawn camping. Remember, they made those changes to Battlegrounds where you were not able to spawn camp anymore. It'll make the Rite of Exile a better experience. Pet thing looks like more RNG garbage. I don't know about garbage, but definitely more RNG. And Jason Miller comes through with this comment, which I thought was actually really funny. He says, how come every Immortal update is better than D4 updates? I've been D4 for a while, and I think Immortal is getting better through the years, and I would have to agree. Not saying anything bad about Diablo 4. I don't frequent the game. I touch in every now and then. But Diablo Immortal definitely is getting better with age, as do many mobile games. Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, Brawl Stars. All three of those highly successful games got better with time, and I think Diablo Immortal is doing the same. So, dive on into the update, get yourself rolling. I got a bunch of grinding to do myself today. I'm excited to try and see the odds when I jump in and use my active blessings to try and get some of these new essences. We have a bunch to collect for the wizard. Let me know what class you're playing, what essences you're trying to collect, and if you like the update overall. Guys, have a great day. I'll see you in tomorrow's video.